we know during this time of year, sometimes you got to trim the bush a little bit. Sometimes you got to be careful with the short and curlies. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about my friends at Manscaped. Because they are the leaders in below the waistline grooming. Deke, you're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
They keep the grass low so the tree can show a little bit more. We with you on all that. And that's what we appreciate them. But that Lawnmower 4.0 in particular is the one that always stands out to me. That one with the light on it. Turns on and off. Because some of these got lights that they don't turn on and off. That's not acceptable. You got to have options. Daytime, nighttime, primetime game. You know what I'm saying? Daytime game. But that's what the Lawnmower 4.0 brings to the table, along with a plethora of other healthcare options. Man, you're talking the shampoo, the body wash. Did you want to talk about the body wash? You want to talk about that?
I've been using it ever since Manscaped sent over the care package. The body wash, the shampoo, got me smelling good, feeling fresh.
I personally, you coming here daily, I'm like, yo, Deke, you smell really nice, bro.
Thanks.
I wanted to hug you the other day. I just didn't want to make it awkward. But that's what you bring to the table, man. That's what Manscaped brings to the table,
the body spray, too.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, with that being said, we also know that when we talk about anybody up here, we got to have something for you. And that's a promo code. It's MOATS. You use that, you'll get your 20% off of your purchase at manscaped.com, along with free shipping worldwide. So, Deke, to me, this sounds like a no-brainer. It sounds like one of those things like, don't waste your time.
A win-win.
Yeah. They're doing for you, you're going to do for you, and you're also going to do for others. But either way, man, definitely use that promo code, and your dangly twins will appreciate you.
When did you guys know Big Ben had the it factor? Because he, as much as people want to talk about a little bit of his poor performance in Super Bowl XL, he showed out in those playoffs to get there. Like, when did you guys know? Like, going back to even, like, rookie year training camp, like, was there a point you just, like, he's got it. He's the guy.
Well, the funny thing about that is that, when he came in, he had that chip on his shoulder. He was just waiting for his opportunity. And I'll never forget Alan Faneca saying, man, we got this rookie coming in. I don't know if he can lead us, But with that being said, we were like, we don't know if he can lead us. We don't know what kind of leader he is right now, but we know what kind of ball player he is. And we knew that he had the grits and the gut to go out there and the physical attributes to get it done. And with him wearing that chip on his shoulder, it was like, okay, let's help him prove this. You know what I mean? Like, instead of everybody saying, man, he got a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get drafted where he wanted to get where he get drafted at. Well, everybody thinks that they're supposed to be drafted a little bit higher than what they got drafted at.
Facts.
So instead of using that against him, we're like, let's back him up on that. You know what I mean? And show the league that he was right. And lo and behold, this dude went out there and proved it. So I think that moment when Allen said that, and then we came together as veterans on that team and said, you know what? Let's just back him up. Let's have confidence in this dude that he can lead us. And if he can't lead us, let's teach him how to lead us. You know what I mean? And we got to do that by playing together. We got to do that by supporting him. And that's what he was able to do.
Let's go. Let's go. I like that right there, man. Nah, that was beautiful. That was definitely beautiful. Now, I want to, wind this thing back a little bit also to you coming out of West Virginia. Just talk about that draft. And did you expect to go where you went? What were your plans, man? And just how did you handle that whole situation, man, being drafted and stuff?
Whew, man. Coming out of West Virginia, I had a big junior and senior year, but I had gotten hurt so many times at West Virginia. I broke the same arm 3 times. I think it was like 388 days apart, man. And I was almost saying, well, maybe football isn't destined for me. Maybe that's not the path and purpose that God has chosen for me. Maybe, I was meant to just get a taste of this and do something else. But I'll never forget Don Nealon sitting me down in his office and said, no, you have the potential to play on Sundays. And if you're going to let these little injuries get you down, then, you're not built for this. And he said, but I know you're built for it. And I was like, okay, so let me just go out and, handle my business on the field and see what happens in the draft. Because, you start reading the paper, oh, this guy's too vulnerable. He's getting hurt. He's off injured. He's injury prone. So, I think I started to slide down some draft boards. I don't know even how high I was on any of my first. And then, I ended up getting an agent. I was like, what's going to happen? He's like, listen, you never know what can happen. He said, you just go out here, you work these pro days, you go up to the combine, you show out, and the good fortune for me was that my roommate and college teammate was Knute Curtis. He was an All-American linebacker. He was heavily coveted. They were projecting him to go maybe in the top 10, top 20. He was a Butkus Award finalist. So at all of his pro days, like every team almost showed up. I think like 28 teams would come with all their coaches and scouts to see him perform, and he ended up pulling his hamstring and couldn't work out. And all the scouts and stuff were coming. And I'm talking about, no lie, I was showing out on my pro days,
Let's
man.
go.
Let's go. Really, it was his pro day, but I was showing out on his pro day, man. I'm talking about I'm running the fastest speeds that I ever ran, broad jumping over 11 feet, 41.5-inch verticals. Out there catching punts, returning kicks. I was doing everything. And after all of those workouts, my agent came to me and said, dude, you're shooting up some draft boards. Seriously, he said, I'm getting some good information that you might be, second round, late first round. And I'm like, ain't no way. And I was like, ain't no way. But when he gave me that information, I was like, oh, ain't no stopping now. You know what I mean? Ain't no stopping now. And I just continued to press my foot forward. And lo and behold, on draft day, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking that Knute's going to get drafted on the first day. So we're really there to support him. And in the late first round, my agent's like, come in the room. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, yo, I'm getting calls for you instead of Knute. And he was like, you know what? I was like, what should we do? Ain't this like his really like draft party, right?
Oh my God. You stole his pro day and his draft party. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of awkward, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, so I'm on the phone. My parents ended up coming down to West Virginia. We're like sitting around getting antsy and everything. And I'm starting to get a couple phone calls, man. And lo and behold, I get drafted in the second round with the 50th pick going to Jacksonville. And we're celebrating. And Knute had yet to be drafted. And I'm like, oh man, like, what should we do? Like, should we party? Should we, like, so I went in the room and I'm talking to him and he's like, look, man, I know I'm going to get drafted at some point. Since you got drafted first, everything's on you tonight. You pay for all this party stuff. You know what I mean? You're the one that's going to have the bigger check. So he said, let's get it. And that was my boy for life, man. He ended up naming his first son Logan. We got a great relationship. Awesome, yeah, he ended up getting drafted later by the Bengals in the 6th round. Went on to play like 6 or 8 years in the league. We still have a great rapport now. But it was an awkward draft day, boy. It was. I was like up and down emotionally. You know what I mean? Didn't know how to handle it. Didn't know what to do. But it all worked out, man.
No, I love that, man. That's a heck of a story right there, man. I love, dude. Let's go. Said that's my pro day and that's gonna be my draft party. I appreciate you though.
No doubt.
Can you take us?
I put a bill though. I did have to put that bill. You know what I mean? But I put that bill.
I'm sure you weren't complaining about it, being that you did go a little earlier than him. So salute it.
No doubt. It was a celebration, man. A good time.